The goal of seeing faster broadband internet connectivity in Bennington County, a need vividly highlighted by the COVID-19 pandemic, which forced schools and businesses to adapt to operating remotely, is coming into view as modern, future-proof fiber optic cables are being strung along poles throughout the southern parts of the county, through a collaboration between the Southern Vermont Communications Union District and Consolidated Communications Incorporated, a telecoms and internet provider. Fidium Fiber, as the internet service is known, is managed by Consolidated Communications, or CCI, which is stringing the wire using its own capital, and 2 weeks ago, those efforts reached Bennington where its first subscriber, Star Volkmer, whose home is on Anthony Drive, a short distance from the Bennington Museum, was hooked up to the superfast network.
I was just asked if I would be interested, and I said yes. Sole provider, so anything would save money.
Eric Hatch, the chairman of the Southern Vermont Communications Union District Board, noted that the initial phase of the project is actually ahead of schedule.
This is the first house on phase 1, so Star Volkmer is going live with that today. She's getting 250 megabits per second upload and download for a less cost per month than she was getting for a lower speeds, a more unreliable speed. So she's saving money and getting better service, and so that's exciting. It's exciting. It's the first. We're going to be finishing phase 1 this year, which is all of Bennington, all of Woodford, a bit of Pownell, most of Shaftesbury, Glastonbury as well. And then phase 2 is the rest of the Communications Union District. So we're ahead of schedule on phase 1, which is exciting, and now we're at the point where we can now hook up individuals' homes to the network. So it's very exciting, very happy day here.
Mary Ellen Player, CCI's Vice President of Market Management, described how the connection process worked.
It's a new modem router combination called, it's an ADTRAN device, but there's actually a two-step process. So there's something that happened this morning. So the fiber is run on poles here. That's the major infrastructure. And there's a drop that actually occurs from the pole there. This is the drop line that comes from the pole to the house. So that was actually run this morning. And so once that's done, then he can do all the inside work. So that's placing the router, placing the inside network terminal inside the house, the jack, we call it, that you would just plug in. He'll do an assessment as well with Star here to make sure that there are no dead zones across the house.
The goal is not only to make modern levels of broadband speed available to residents who already have internet service, but also to those who are living in more remote locations where up to now it hasn't made financial sense for internet providers to string wire. That's a process that will take another year and a half to complete across the entire county, said Christine Hallquist, the executive director of the Vermont Community Broadband Board, who was attending a meeting of the Bennington County Regional Commission at Lake Perrin a week or so before Volkmer's home was connected to the new system. What do you see as the big challenges facing wiring up rural areas? Like we heard a couple of questions there. Is it this whole issue around the density of the population making the costs higher? I mean...
Yes, the density. So today, those people, if you look at the average throughout the state, the average right now of people unserved is 9 houses per mile. Once you drop below 20 houses per mile, you can't make money without grant funding. So we're well below that, and that's why the grant funding is so important. But when we evaluate where are we going to spend the taxpayer money, the best place to spend it is in a fiber network, because a fiber network is quote future-proof. And for anybody that wants to analyze light and fiber, you can continue to split the light into separate wavelengths to get more data speeds. You can't do that with a radio signal to like a Starlink, because you're limited by how low that frequency is.
So it's a more reliable system, basically.
It's a more reliable system and it has a lot more upside. And its service costs are much, over time, it's the least cost system. So it's the best place to invest taxpayer money.
So we're roughly anticipating then, what, 1 to 2 years to wire up the entire county?
Yep, by the end of 2023, yes.
By the end of 23?
Yep.
Okay, that includes all those remote towns of the northern end of the county and...
For Bennington County.
Yeah, for
yes.
Bennington County.
Yep.
Okay. While the connections and wire laying are so far being financed by Consolidated Communications, wiring locations in the second phase of the undertaking will hinge on the Communications Union District obtaining approval for its overall plan from the Vermont Community Broadband Board, which oversees the release of public money from federal sources. This is the bucket of money, about $9 million in this case, which is being eyed to offset the cost of wiring up those harder-to-reach, last-mile locations, as well as towns in the northern parts of the county. The Communications Unit District has made one presentation to the State Broadband Board, with at least one more anticipated in the near future. Under the terms of the partnership between CCI and the local Communications Union District, the Communications District will own all the grant-funded infrastructure, and Consolidated will upgrade core infrastructure. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.